Good morning, everybody. This is Cliff Johnson from Byte Me Podcast, and we are back for another PAX weekend update. Yesterday I went to PAX West on Friday. That is also yesterday. And saw a bunch of great games. We're going to talk about 8 of them today, plus one I forgot to talk about ID at Xbox the day before. I just missed it. Anyway, let's get right into it. All right, first game we're going to talk about is Projectionist First Light. This is actually the ID at Xbox game I was talking about. I was super excited to play it there, and I just somehow missed talking about it yesterday in my video. It's a really unique game in which you can see that light on the right-hand side of the screen there. You actually control that with your right thumbstick, and then you control that player model you see with your left thumbstick, and you use the light source to create shadows on the different items in the foreground, or in the foreground that your player can actually use as platforms to jump up. You can see right here she'll actually pull one out of the ground and use that to go up. It's a really, really unique concept that takes a couple minutes to really get the hang of, but once you do, it makes for some really unique gameplay experiences. The game levels are actually based on, there's a lot of cultures that use shadows and this type of actual stuff in their art and in plays, that kind of thing. And every level is actually based on a different culture that uses these differently. So really unique game. I really enjoyed playing it. So watch for that. I believe next year it's coming out on Steam, PS4, Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch. It's probably going to be a great Switch game. All right, next game is With Friends Like These. This is a really unique co-op only game. You have to play it 2-player, and the reason is because your little character there, the guy with the pink and the blue little smiley faces, are controlled by a different player depending on if you're in air or water. So you can see when they are in the air, the pink person is the actual person that drives the little critter, and the blue person is the one that shoots, and then it switches when you go into air or water. The enemies are all often color based, so you can only defeat the pink-eyed enemy with a pink person shooting, so you have to strategically go in and out of water to attack things different ways. But it's really strange to go from being in air and shooting to being in water and all of a sudden driving. There's a cool sequence that we're going to see coming up where you're actually escaping from a big baddie, and you'll switch between air and water as you go. And you have to really be paying attention, because as soon as it switches, you have to kind of change which way you're shooting. You know, you'll be pushing back right here. So the pink person right now is pushing backwards to shoot, but then when they switch, they have to start going forward to go the wrong way. It's really mind-bending. This is going to be a great co-op game to play with, obviously couch co-op with a friend. I'm super excited about playing with my wife and kid. It's going to be a great game. It's coming out on Steam and the Switch, I believe later or early next year. Really, really enjoyed this. All right, next up is Retimed. This is a 4-player like couch co-op battle game. Kind of, got that like Smash Bro kind of feel to it, except you got guns with cool bullet time abilities. So you can see that when a bullet gets close to someone, let's wait for it to happen. It's gonna happen right there. That the players go into this kind of slow motion bullet time, and you have all these cool like jumping and dodging and sliding moves you can do to try and avoid those bullets. There's limited bullet pickup, so it's not like unlimited ammo. You actually can run out of bullets and not have any. You have to go find them and pick them up. It was really fun, and I lost bad. I mean, like, I was not good at this game. I still had a great time. I think it's going to be a great like extra life game. I'm really excited to try it with a bunch of people. Coming out on the Switch soon, and Steam as well. So it's going to be definitely one to watch out for if you do a lot of kind of like couch co-op gaming, which everyone should do more of. All right, I'm including Mirror Drop just because it might be the only game I've ever played that like literally made my brain hurt. The idea behind this game is you're in a room. You can see you're in a box right now, and there's that thing moving in the middle, that kind of squishy glob thing, and you manipulate that squishy glob thing by turning walls in that room on and off. So if you turn a wall on, it all of a sudden has gravity, and it'll pull that squishy blob thing towards it. And then in every room, there are things you have to collect, and you do that by turning the walls on and off, so the blob thing will go to where the other things you have to collect are. It is the strangest game I've ever played. It was a lot of fun, but it's so colorful and so just mind bendy that it almost hurts. It would be a fantastic VR game, honestly. Has like 45 levels, the dev told me. And it's out now on Steam. You can pay $8 and try this game out right now. It's probably worth that just to experience this weirdness. Really liked this game. All right, next game we're going to talk about is Chasm. This is a Metroidvania with a really cool pixel art aesthetic. Um, it's interesting because, unlike a lot of other Metroidvanias you play, this one's actually procedurally generated. So you play as this guy, you're the hero of a town trying to go out and rescue people in these dungeons underneath the town. And every time, I think it's unique for your game. It's not every time. So every time you start a game, essentially, these dungeons are procedurally generated out of like a handcrafted set of blocks. And so this isn't a game where you can, go online and find a guide and, work your way through it. It controls great. It looks great. Has really good like fighting mechanics that I needed a little bit more time to get used to. But there's a very much a like go in and stab, and then there's like a kind of scoot away move that you can do. I was playing with a PS4 controller, which is not my jam exactly, but definitely had a lot of promise. Game is out now on Steam, the Vita, and the PS4. It is coming soon to the Switch and Xbox, so you'll be able to play this kind of anywhere you want to. Very cool game, been in development for a lot of years, so it's nice to finally see. It was a Kickstarter in, I think, 2013. Nice to finally see this come out. Really, really enjoyable if you're into kind of pixely Metroidvanias. I think you'd probably dig on this. All right, let's get back into it. We are talking about a really interesting game called Bloodroots. This is actually probably my favorite game that I played on day one at PAX. It's viscerally violent. The demo has this incredible loop. You play as that dude with the wolf on his head. And you just literally go around these levels killing people in fantastic ways. You can kill them with that wagon. You can kill them with that wagon wheel. You can kill them with an axe and a sword and an axe and another sword and a ladder. I cut a dude in half. I used his lower body to kill another guy. The sword play in it is amazing. You like zip around. It's an interesting game because you die a lot, or at least I died a lot. But it doesn't really matter that much because you are constantly reevaluating how you're playing it. The first time maybe I killed that guy with an axe. The second time maybe I'll try with a sword. Maybe I'll reverse the way I go through a level. It was just fun and visceral and just, bloody. But that's in the name, so you expect it. Really, really enjoyed this one. Coming out next year, I think, for all major consoles and PC. So keep that one on your list. All right, for folks that know me, they will say this is 100% a Cliff kind of game. It's called Storm Boy, the game. Apparently Storm Boy is a really popular children's book in Australia that is being released as a movie early next year. And so they, kind of got together and said, let's make a video game to kind of pre-sell this. It's a very, very, very short trailer there. But essentially what it is you're a kid on a beach and you play 12 different mini games. It's completely open. There's a sandbox. There's honestly no way to win. You just play as long as you want. This is very much one of those, is it even a game? I think little kids, especially little kids, once they see the movie, are going to really enjoy this idea. It's coming out for the Switch, which is perfect. It's also coming out for iOS, Android, PC, Xbox, and PS4. I'm interested to see how it'll be received because it isn't much of a game. It's more of an experience. Priced right, I think it could be really fun, especially, like I said, for kind of the younger set. So keep a lookout for Storm Boy pretty soon. I think it's coming to the end of this year. All right, so this is a game that Vinny of podcast fame informed me I absolutely positive had to play. It's called Killer Queen Black. It's an interesting game because it started out life as an arcade game, and it's been an arcade game for a little while, and now they're bringing it to PC first, and I believe it's going to follow on to consoles after that. It is going to be on the Switch as well. It looks like, if you just watch it, it looks a ton like Joust, like the old 80s arcade game, but it doesn't really play like it. There's a bunch of different ways you can win, so as it pulls out, you'll see these... As it pulls out, you'll see the little worker drones putting eggs or balls or whatever into those little slots. You can win that way. There's a snail at the bottom that you can hop on and ride and drive over towards your side of the screen. You can win that way. Somehow you can win as that weird bee critter, and if you stab enough people, you can win that way. I played about 3 rounds of it. I have no idea how I did or what we did, but my team won all 3 games, so that must mean something, I guess. It's really enjoyable. It's going to be a great couch co-op. This is going to be a great Extra Life game for us, I'm pretty sure, if it comes out in time. It's apparently releasing in winter, so we'll see what that actually means. But I'm really, really glad Vinny recommended I play it, because it was a lot of fun. I just need to play like another 20 rounds so I actually understand what I'm doing. All right, last but not least, Torchlight Frontiers. This is a game that I have really, really been looking forward to. When I heard that Runic Games went out of business, or was closed, I suppose, I really didn't think I'd ever see a new Torchlight game, and then a mere couple months later, here is Torchlight Frontiers. It is the only game I waited in any sort of real line for. I'm not a big line waiter at PAX. I waited probably a half hour to play this game. And it's pretty good. The difference between this and Torchlight 1 and 2 is that this one is actually going to be an MMO. So it'll play kind of like Destiny, I would guess. I talked to one of the developers a little bit, and he kind of implied that, yeah, there's some open world hub kind of worlds, and then when you go into dungeons, they become instanced. So just your party goes with you. Didn't really say anything about party size, didn't really say about kind of what their financial model will be. They're kind of kicking around subscription. They're kicking around kind of loot boxes. They're kicking around microtransactions. My guess is, based on the people that own these folks now's pedigree, it will probably be a free-to-play game with microtransactions, or maybe even a paid game with microtransactions. I don't think there'll be a subscription model, but we'll have to see. It's coming out next year, and that was a very broad next year, so it could be, well over a year from now, which is good, because the version that I played didn't feel great. Like, I've played all the Torchlight games, I've played all the Diablo games, I have a lot of experience, played all the Dungeon Siege games. I played a lot of games like this, and it felt kind of crappy. It didn't quite click. So I actually played as 2 different characters, because my game crashed about 5 minutes into it. I played the first one as kind of a magey kind of character, and then the second part is this robot full of swords and stuff. And neither one of them felt terrific. I did beat the demo. You do have pets like you did in the other Torchlight games. Yeah, I played as that like weird steam-powered automatron there. We'll have to see. There's still a lot of development left in this game, so coming out next year for Xbox, PC, and PS4. So hopefully it's great.